Welcome to video 176 in Series 3, and this is the second and final part in setting up a ranged ally. Okay, so the ally isn't quite ranged yet, so he needs a ranged weapon. So let's just copy the one from the player over. So there's an assault rifle there. I will just duplicate that and bring it over to the maxed ranged ally. And let me just break that prefab instance there. Okay, and just rename it quickly. Now some things to do immediately are, let's have a look. So canvas ammo, I'll just disable that and just double check that while it's on the NPC that the is kinematic is check and the box collider is off. And also make sure a gun NPC input script is attached, and set the layer to avoid to player and friendly, and that'll ensure that the NPC is able to actually shoot this ranged weapon. So just don't forget to do that. And what I've done is to also attach 2 empty game objects to the rifle. So if I go to that, well, what I'll do first of all is to turn it on so you can see it, and just reposition it as well. So just quickly, so that it's sitting over the player, the NPC. And I'll just put it into ISO view to make that a bit easier for myself, and zoom in. Alright, so, and just move it here. So I want it to be about positioned like so, just roughly. And as for this, now that's sitting a bit too back, so perhaps around there. And as for the right hand target, well, let me just reset it for you so you can see what the process is a bit like. So let's say it was at 000. Okay, so now this is the right hand target. It's just an empty game object. I just made 2 empty game objects and made them a child of the assault rifle. And you have a right hand target and a left hand target. Let me just set this to 000 as well in all. And so for the right hand, I want the right hand to be near the trigger, so I'll just set it to be somewhere about there. The rotation value is only known once the game starts playing and the model tries to grip it with the onAnimator IK method, and then it becomes clear what the rotation value needs to be. And same for the left hand target, I want that to be, well, about where it is right now, so something like that. And then I'll rotate it to suit once we actually have it running. Okay, so going to the max range model, yes, I do have items to drop now, so it's going to be the assault rifle. If you don't do that, it'll just hover in the air when the NPC dies. And yes, he does have a range attack, so I just checked that on, so make sure to check that on. I might just turn off melee attack now. Okay, and there we go, that's the ranged weapon, which we now need to allocate, we'll assign, otherwise we'll get an error when we try and do a range attack. And then for the right hand target, just put that in, and the left hand target, put that in. Good. Alright, so I'll just double check again what layers to avoid. Good, that's correctly set up, and just hit apply. Okay, so I'll go ahead and try it out now, so I'll just hit play with all that set up. Okay, so looks like, let me just get out of the isometric mode view. Alright, so what I've done there is I've put a bunch of enemies, so there's 7 enemies in the scene, the spawn there, and he's immediately seen them, and he's gone ahead and he's shooting at them, which is very good. But that's not what I'm actually trying to look at. I want to have a look at the hand position. Okay, so let me just click away, and that's no good. First of all, the rotations, of course, needs to get adjusted for the arms. So the hands are pointing in the wrong direction. So I can go ahead and have a look at what I should be adjusting it to by doing something like this. And just fiddling around. So yeah, so something like that might do alright. And as for the the left hand rather, once again, this one needs rotating all the way around to perhaps something like that, to just make it look like. But now you'll notice the arm doesn't look right. It's because it's the animation is being applied, and it just doesn't suit with the onAnimator IK. So what I need to do is I need to make a mask. So create a avatar mask. So if we had a proper animation for which included holding weapons, there wouldn't be any problem. Then the onAnimator IK bit would just take care of the final adjustment for holding onto that particular weapon, and that would be easy. But in this case, we don't have such an animation, and we're forcing it all the way from the body of the character. So I'm just going to call this Max Avatar. And in the humanoid tab, just bring that down, uncheck the arm and hands, and we need to apply this to the controller as well. So go to the Max controller and apply it. Make sure the blending is override. It'll override the animation. So no animation will now be applied to the arms when he's walking. And as for the right hand target, I think it was a -130 or something like that. And for the left hand, perhaps 145 or thereabouts. And let me just hit play again and just see how that's looking. It's looking vaguely better. Now one thing maybe is that the gun might be perhaps the gun is too big for him. So, oh no, it's not. So I have actually set the scale down to like 0.8, 0.8, 0.8. So even the gun the player is holding is a bit smaller than previously. And so it should actually be alright. So let me just put that back. And now the hand rotation is still not quite right. It's still a little bit off. The left hand rotation is just barely possible. Now this really is the consequence of not having a proper animation. You have to do some dodgy things. So once again, let me just go back to the assault rifle. I'll just push it back a little bit more, make it easier for him to hold on to. And as for the right hand target, I'll just adjust that rotation even more to make it even lower. And let's have a look at it now. Oh no, it's too much, so let me adjust that backwards, so say -100, and then hit play. Okay, and this time he's going to follow the player. And okay, look, just for example purposes, I will sort of live with that. Now, I still want the hand to come back a bit to about there. So let me just change that to -0.47 and just see that in action. Alright. And nah, I'm not happy with that at all either. So I'm going to move the gun forward still. Move that a bit more forward. Hit play. Now see it. Okay, so I'll just live with that end result. It's not perfect, but it will do for our purposes. And let's see him in action. Yes, he's firing away, the gun is shooting, and I think he's about to get into quite a bit of trouble. Oops. Oh, and he just got killed there. Oh well, probably should have helped him out. Well. And that should be it. Wait, there's still another one. There we go. That takes care of them. Now, where is his gun? Oh, there it is. It got dragged all the way. So if I pick that up, I should be able to use that. Oh, that's very good. No problem. It is a fully functioning weapon right there. So that's pretty good stuff. Okay. So there you go. We've got a ranged ally. Now this time, I think I'll help him out, so then you can see that he does follow. So let me just shoot at these NPCs. Alright. Good. And now you can see that he will follow the player around. This NPC will actually follow the player, which is pretty good. Okay, so we've got our NPC friendly AI setup, and for an enemy NPC you would simply you'd pretty much just adjust the tags and the layers at the top and on the various hitboxes and stuff, and just adjust them to be the enemy or whatever. You could set up neutral factions. You can set up factions that are enemies to both your enemy and to your group as well if you felt like it. You could do all of that sort of stuff. And then of course just adjust the site layers and that sort of thing. But anyway, let me just hit apply here. And for the player, actually, I think I will just set the gun back to what its size was. It won't affect the NPC, so maybe I'll just change that to 1 rather. I thought it was a little bit small. Alright, and just hit apply there. And it won't affect the one that the NPC is holding, because that now belongs to the Max Ally prefab. Okay, so good job. Now you've got a ranged ally. Now there's still a bit more we have to do. We've got a few scripts to edit from the past, some general improvements, some bug fixes as well. And then we need to make 2 new things. One is item make noise, so you can throw items to distract enemy AIs. And after that, destructible distraction, so you can use destructible game objects to distract the enemy AIs. So that's all still to come. So keep on going forwards, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.